A shout rang out in the crowded diner. "I won't let someone like you wait tables!" All eyes turned to the woman with the long scar across her face. She stood frozen in a terrifying silence. No one spoke. No one came to her defense. Then, a teenager in a military academy uniform rose to his feet. Determination blazed in his eyes. What could drive a veteran to be publicly insulted? Who was the boy daring enough to confront such cruelty? And what would make this moment change everything? This is a story of courage, of honor, and of the power of unconditional kindness in a world that often forgets its silent heroes. Let us explore the journey of Anna Harper, the woman whose scars ran not only across her face, but through her heart, and the belated moment of justice that stirred millions of hearts. Click subscribe to our channel to catch more thrilling, captivating stories. Don't miss out. Anna Harper, 45, is the warm heart of Daisy's Diner, a quintessentially American eatery nestled in the center of a small Midwestern town. Each morning, as gentle sunlight filters through the misty glass windows, Anna arrives at the cashier's counter, poised and ready for a busy day. Her slender figure, clad in a perfectly fitted uniform, hints at the rigorous physical training of her past. Her agile footsteps across the oak-stained floorboards evoke the measured grace of a ballet dancer. For nearly 2 decades at Daisy's Diner, Anna has navigated countless rushes, from quick breakfasts of sunny-side-up eggs and toast to hearty lunches of sizzling burgers, buttery fries, and crisp salads. She balances 5 laden plates on her left arm, order pad in her right hand, her unwavering smile masking the ache in her right knee, a reminder of an old wound. Anna knows that for American patrons, a friendly smile and a warm greeting matter more than any dish on the table. Yet the deepest impression on her face is the scar that arcs from her left ear to her cheekbone. Its zigzag path tells the story of one who lived amid smoke and bullets. From 2005 to 2009, she served in the U.S. military as a medical technician, patching up comrades in the trenches of Iraq. In those long days facing death, she stitched wounds inflicted by gunfire, stemmed bleeding, and even used her own body as a shield for the wounded. One afternoon in 2007, the anguished cry of "Need medic" echoed across the battlefield. Anna lunged through layers of dust and shellfire. An enemy grenade detonated before she could reach cover. The blast threw her back, carving a deep wound across her left cheek. Her comrades dragged her to safety. Though she was losing blood fast, she willingly surrendered consciousness to save another life. 3 marathon surgeries preserved her life, but no amount of reconstructive work could erase the bite mark of fire etched forever on her face. After leaving the service for health reasons, Anna shunned urban life and so-called safe veteran jobs. Instead, she returned to Daisy's Diner, the place that had welcomed her before deployment, to find peace in familiar routines. Stacking clean plates, pouring strong black coffee, and slowly taking orders at the central counter, where long bench seats await everyone from old friends sipping coffee and reading the paper to young couples chatting hand in hand. To her colleagues, Anna is the embodiment of reliability and resilience. When impatient customers rail about delays or incorrect orders, everyone looks to Anna to soothe them with her gentle voice and calm, fiery eyes. She listens, empathizes, and radiates positive energy. She never boasts about her heroic past, yet her eyes glow with pride whenever she mentions my fellow soldiers, the friends who stood by her through hellish days. For American diners, veteran stories are familiar, but few know the truth behind Anna's scar. Once, speaking to Lily, the 19-year-old new server, Anna simply said, Every scar tells a lesson. Mine teaches me never to give up. Lily gazed at her in admiration. You don't just serve great food, you serve hope. Those words made Anna smile with contentment. She understood that serving is more than a job. It is a mission to fuel hope amid life's frantic pace. Life at Daisy's Diner can still bring challenges. On a sweltering day, a well-dressed group entered, radiating disdain as they demanded the most attractive server. They sneered when Anna approached, their eyes fixed on her scar. A single cruel remark halted everything. If it were me, I wouldn't let someone like you wait tables. The room froze. Even the clinking of silverware ceased. Yet Anna, tempered by years of facing danger, merely bowed her head and slipped back to the kitchen, leaving a lesson on countering contempt, not with anger, but with kindness and the pride of one who has already conquered herself. Above all, Anna knows that unconditional kindness is the most precious service she can offer. Her serenity, her care, and her unwavering spirit make Daisy's Diner not just a place for hungry customers seeking good food, but a haven for hearts in search of hope. Regulars return, whether for another cup of coffee or a plate of cookies, departing with warm smiles and a cheerful, "Have a great day, Anna." As night falls and the warm yellow lights glow, Anna stands at the cashier's counter, gazing down the now quiet street. She touches the scar on her face, the memento of wartime's harsh reality, and smiles. She knows that however many wounds life inflicts, courage and honor will always stitch together the path ahead. With each step she takes across Daisy's wooden floorboards, Anna Harper continues to tell the world about the power of unconditional kindness, a gift everyone deserves, whether in a small diner or on a fierce battlefield. The lunch rush at Daisy's Diner is always a vibrant symphony of the bell above the door, hurried footsteps, and the rich aroma of freshly brewed drip coffee mingling with the scent of just-baked pastries. At precisely 12:30, the warm oak tables fill instantly, from clusters of office friends squeezing in a quick break to wandering couples seeking a quiet corner amid life's hustle. Beneath the golden glow of the lights, Anna Harper's gaze sweeps over each face, each smile, each restless gesture, like an artist capturing a vivid tableau of daily life. Before she even settles behind the counter, Anna hears Lily, the young colleague on her first shift, whisper that a stylish party of 5 has arrived, exuding the air of weekend tourists. They chat animatedly about lakeside excursions, watching sunrise over wildflower meadows. Through the window, Anna glimpses sleek motor coaches parked beneath shady trees, glinting in the gentle midday sun. She smiles, quietly reminds Lily that even if they demand the hottest server in the house, she can greet them confidently. After facing bullets and grenades, a few compliments or pretty faces won't faze her. When the group chooses a table by the window, Anna approaches with composed grace and her customary greeting. "Welcome to Daisy's Diner. I'm Anna. I'll be serving you today." Her voice is warm, infused with the genuine kindness of someone who once spent her youth patching up wounded comrades, now transformed into a simple gift for every patron. At that moment, she sees Richard, the man in the dark blue suit, pause, his smile freezing as his eyes trace the scar from her left ear to her cheekbone. Surprise and hesitation flicker across his face, then vanish into cold indifference. Unable to conceal himself, Richard mutters, "Oh my God," loud enough for the next table to hear. A woman beside him tuts in amusement. The rest fall silent, watching Anna's expression. The heavy hush descends like a curtain, rendering the bell and the basket of rolls suddenly distant. Anna feels her cheek flush, yet she maintains her professional poise, continuing to describe the day's special in a steady tone, concealing the turmoil within. And so, amid the scent of honey butter cookies and the whir of the coffee grinder, one question cuts through. "What's with your face? Car accident or something?" Richard's mocking tone drips with curiosity. His pointed finger at her scar is an invisible blade, deepening the contempt in the heart of a woman who once stood on the front lines. Though she knows his words betray ignorance of what a battle scar truly means, Anna hears each syllable echoing, as if time itself has paused. She answers softly, her voice as calm as a placid lake. "I'll return once you're ready to order." No anger, simply a shield for her dignity. Turning on her heel, she leaves behind a stunned stillness. The clinking forks halt. Whispered conversations freeze as patrons suddenly realize they surround not just a scar on skin, but the legacy of a life lived amid gunfire. Seated near the kitchen, Anna bows her head, focusing on the pitchers of water lined up on the counter. Her hands tremble, not from fear, but from the shock of those cutting words. She pours water into each glass, every droplet revealing her effort to steady herself. Memories flood back, the desert sun scorching her skin. Cries of "Medic!" echoing through the foxholes, the tense rush to save a comrade amid flying shrapnel. Yet now, that wound no longer bleeds. It remains a scar, a testament to courage and compassion. In that instant, Anna recognizes the power of silence. No furious retort, no shouted defense, just standing tall, showing the world that her past has forged her stronger than any insult could break. She hands a glass to a nearby table, smiles gently, offers, "Here you go." Their eyes reflect understanding, a reminder that among today's hundreds of diners, there are hearts willing to empathize and stand together. Returning to the group's table, Anna resumes taking orders. The fatigue in her face seems to melt away, replaced by professionalism and grace. Though Richard still won't meet her eyes, she completes her work with precision and care. Each time she sets a plate down, the room fills again with the aroma of grilled beef and the soft laughter of delighted customers tasting the first bite. Anna knows the true outcome isn't an apology from Richard, but the simple joy a good meal brings. As she weaves through the tables, Anna senses the admiration of a child beside her mother, a silent nod from an elderly gentleman, Lily's small smile as she returns to the kitchen. These are Anna's priceless gifts in peacetime, tokens of gratitude and respect. Anyone may glimpse her form behind the counter, but few grasp the story etched in her scar. For those who've fought beside her, it's no blemish, it's the medal of valor. When the bell chimes again, signaling new arrivals, Anna inhales deeply, closes her eyes for a brief moment to gather strength. She reminds herself, every day is an opportunity to do the right thing, even if it's just a smile or a genuine greeting. Then she strides forward, shoulders squared, steps light yet unwavering, ready to continue her mission of serving hearts in this small American diner. The diner fell into a suffocating silence, as though a heavy curtain had dropped. Every breath Anna Harper drew felt stifled. The once lively scene turned bleak. The bell's chime ceased, the clink of forks on plates froze, and only the soft inhalations of a middle-aged couple remained, their heads bowed over eggs and sausage, as if defending Anna might breach some invisible line. At the bar, the burly trucker fidgeted, yet stubbornly upheld the customer is king pretense by refusing to look up. every gaze averted, no one dared speak. In that stillness, Anna felt an invisible blade slash across her chest. Not Richard's cruel words, but the diner's collective silence, an even deeper wound, delivered from behind. She closed her eyes, fighting a pounding heart, as the memory of first seeing her scarred face in the Baghdad recovery ward resurfaced. Physical and emotional agony surged, visions of endless days amid smoke and gunfire, comrades' desperate yells for medics, and silent tears as she faced the prospect of never returning home. The diner's yellow lights caught motes of dust, scattering phantom beams through the air. Summoning her strength, Anna's voice emerged, soft as a final breath. "I'll send someone else to serve you." No anger tainted the words. They were the calm conclusion of a long-considered choice. When confronted with disrespect, the noblest defense is the purest silence. She turned and walked away, each step light yet firm, her spine straight as a pillar. Her eyes fixed on the kitchen, where Tom stood behind the counter, his worn face creased with worry. Richard's mocking call trailed after her. "That's best. Someone less off-putting." The group's laughter followed Anna like icy chimes, heralding compassion's failure before prejudice. Behind the swinging door, Anna paused, inhaling the stale air before closing the partition. Before her lay shelves of glassware and mugs, rows of water already poured beside a stainless steel tray. She bowed her head, hands brushing each glass. For each drop she would pour was a salve for her own wounded heart. Her hands trembled, not from weakness, but from the turmoil threatening to overflow. She channeled her shame, anger, and sorrow into every measured movement, keeping the water steady, each cup perfectly balanced. This was her battlefield remedy. When bombs shook the earth, tending the wounded, suturing, bandaging, was her anchor against despair. Now, in Daisy's diner, though no guns fired, the anguish within demanded the same cure, a simple, purposeful task to still the inner storm. Suddenly, Tom appeared beside her, his tall frame heavy with concern. He hesitated, then offered, "Anna, I can throw them out." His voice was gentle, edged with reluctance to wield such force. Over the years, Tom had come to regard Anna as a daughter, admiring her resilience, proud of the veteran who'd reclaimed a normal life. But today, he was unsettled by the indifference around them, and his own helplessness as she was insulted. Anna finished placing the glasses on the tray, wiped the rims dry, then looked up with a gaze both tender and resolute. "Tom, they are customers. I've heard worse." She paused, noting the worry lines on his brow, then offered a faint, reassuring smile. "Let me handle this my way. Thank you for understanding." Tom nodded reluctantly and returned to the register, pensive. He recognized that after years in combat, Anna chose to confront injury not with violence or revenge, but with the steadfastness of a battle-hardened heart. This was not resignation, but an affirmation of honor. Everyone deserves respect, and she, a woman who'd teetered on life's edge, knew that better than anyone. Back in the dining area, Anna glided up to the next table, placing the tray of water with a serene smile. "Here you go." The warmth of her small gesture broke the encircling ice. A middle-aged woman on the opposite side nodded thanks. A child gazed at Anna with admiration. Even the previously aloof trucker finally spoke. "You're courageous." Anna offered no reply, only a quiet smile before moving on. She felt, in that instant, the power of kind acts over harsh words, of dissolving bias with empathy rather than punishing wrongdoing. Anyone who'd visited Daisy's diner that day would recall Anna's steady gaze and her choice to fill the void with courage rather than fury. Amid the server's bustling footsteps and the scent of hot food, Anna Harper resumed her duties with a brighter spirit than ever. In a small Midwestern diner, the story of complicit silence had become a turning point in conversations about respect, honor, and kindness. And as night fell, the warm glow upon her face revealed the scar not as a mark of pain, but as the badge of a woman who dared to face and overcome every cruel silence. Near the back of the diner, where the yellow lights barely illuminated each face, Jacob Miller sat beside his mother, Ellen, in his meticulously pressed Fairview Military Academy uniform. Unlike the other patrons engrossed in their phones or chatting with friends, Jacob could not tear his eyes away from the spectacle before him. A group of city slickers showing blatant contempt for their scarred server, Anna Harper. His eyes narrowed, his jaw clenched as Richard, the man in the dark blue suit, uttered his cruel jeer. At 15, Jacob understood discipline and honor intimately. Each morning, he rose before dawn to inspect his uniform, meticulously smoothing every crease in his pants and lapels, then marched onto the parade ground for drills. Deep in his heart lay a dream of one day attending West Point, a prestigious academy where young cadets forge courage to serve their country. Today, witnessing injustice toward Anna Harper compelled him to break his silence. As Anna gently poured water at the adjacent table, the light catching on the glass, scattering brief, warm motes through the crowded diner, Jacob realized this was his moment to speak. He drew a deliberate breath, summoning the courage honed by countless drills, then straightened his posture and spoke with solemn clarity. "Ma'am, may I ask you something?" Ellen frowned, whispering in both English and Vietnamese, "Jacob, you should remain silent." But Anna nodded ever so slightly, her gentle gaze urging him on. In that instant, Jacob felt the weight of her trust, the trust of one who had saved comrades under fire in Iraq. In the hushed air, broken only by the faint country tune on the speaker and Anna's colleagues' murmurs, Jacob lowered his voice. "My instructor at the academy says every scar tells a story. What story does yours tell?" His question carried no pity, only earnest curiosity about the life of a silent hero. Anna blinked, surprised, yet her eyes shimmered as she recalled those arduous days, the smoke of Iraq's battlefields, the urgent cry of medic echoing in the trenches, the fear as wounded comrades cried out for help. She dipped her head, her voice as soft as a summer breeze. "Iraq, 2007. I served as a medical technician under fire." Her brief reply carried the weight of a warrior's history. Jacob fell silent, then inclined his head gravely, as though absorbing the true value behind her scar. "Thank you for your service," he said, his tone full of respect. Ellen smiled, gently patting her son's arm. "I taught you to be an officer, my son, but in this moment you have shown the true heart of a soldier, mind, courage, and compassion." But the peace shattered again as Richard's sneering laugh pierced the air, a barb aimed at Jacob's newly healed pride. "Kid, remember war leaves nothing but ugly souvenirs. Stick to video games if you want to be safe." The taunt stung like cold steel. Jacob's hand tightened around his fork, recalling his first lesson on human dignity. Every person, wherever they are, deserves respect. His heart swelled with a nameless emotion that crystallized into determination. He remembered late-night drills under frost-covered fields and his instructor's whispered mantra. "When you witness injustice, don't merely stand by. Act." That lesson lit a fire within him, urging him not to let Anna face contempt alone. Before Jacob could speak further, Anna stepped forward, ending the tense moment herself. She reached out and lightly placed her hand on his shoulder, a gesture of the seasoned commander reassuring her young soldier. She smiled, her eyes as clear as a mountain lake, then spoke simply, "Thank you for asking." No argument, no rebuke, just profound gratitude conveyed in 4 gentle words. Ellen murmured, "Jacob, you may sit." And he turned to his mother, his face alight with pride. Around them, other diners looked on with newfound admiration. For the first time since the group arrived, their gazes reflected respect rather than fear. The diner fell silent again, but this time in shared reverence for a moment of courage born in a small Midwestern eatery. Anna's lips curved in a knowing smile. Her scar was not a reminder of a dark past, but a badge of valor. Jacob realized then that the true battlefield is anywhere injustice exists. Today, he, the future officer, had taken a step forward in defending honor and dignity for all. The clatter of dishes and hurried footsteps returned. Anna turned toward the next table, her uniform crisp, her hair neatly tied. The boy and his mother resumed their lunch, but in Jacob's eyes shone an unexpected light. He had fanned the flame of justice in a humble Midwestern diner. And as Anna drew a quiet breath, she reminded herself that, scarred or unscarred, there are always hearts ready to stand beside you, ensuring no wound ever fades into meaninglessness. The scrape of a wooden chair against the floor echoed through the diner like a trumpet blast, heralding a moment of change. Jacob Miller rose to his feet, tall and poised in his impeccably pressed Fairview Military Academy uniform. The warm yellow light glinted off each brass button on his lapel, the sharp creases at his cuffs, and the neat pattern of his tie. His mother Ellen whispered, "Jacob, don't." But her words were too soft to halt his stride. With the poise of a soldier twice his age, the 15-year-old Jacob walked straight toward the table. The diner fell silent for an instant, then burst into mocking laughter when Richard, the sharply dressed man in the blue suit, snorted derisively. "Who's this? Little superhero here." His jeer rang out, punctuated by the raucous guffaws of his companions, as though they reveled in belittling another before an audience. Jacob stopped a single step from Richard, shoulders squared, arms at his sides. His eyes were calm and steady, as though he'd rehearsed this countless times before a mirror. In a voice that pierced the hush, he declared, "I am training to become a soldier, and if I get hurt, I hope I'll live like she does." He pointed to Anna Harper, standing tall behind the counter, chin lifted, shoulders straight, her pride and resolve plain for all to see. "Serving others is nothing to be ashamed of." Jacob's firm words reverberated through the diner. Dozens of eyes turned to the woman whose scar curved across her cheek like a jagged metal, a grenade's mark that had spared her life, leaving only proof of her courage. Richard's sneer vanished. His friends fell silent, unsure whether to cheer or look away in shame. No more whispers of scorn, just stunned quiet, each patron realizing they had just witnessed an act of selfless bravery more powerful than any gaudy display. But Jacob was not done. He drew a deep breath, mustering every ounce of resolve, and delivered the final blow. "That scar is honor. You only have a mouth." His few crisp words struck prejudice like a sharpened blade, exposing the cowardice beneath Richard's fine suit. Jacob's eyes shone with pride in those who give youth and blood for their country, and in himself, learning to uphold honor, justice, and compassion. A whispered murmur of agreement rose from a corner of the diner, then another, spreading like ripples across every table. A Marine veteran at the bar, in a worn leather jacket bearing old insignia, raised his coffee cup to Anna in salute, nodding in deep respect. His warm voice carried through the room. That woman's life, and her scar, cost years of blood and sacrifice. She deserves our honor. Amid looks of admiration, even the previously aloof trucker spoke up. My daughter came home from Afghanistan with a worse scar. She's still the most beautiful person I know. His words trembled with emotion and gratitude. The groundswell of support swelled. No one now hid their newfound respect for Anna. Richard shrank back in his chair. The blue suit sagged with his vanished confidence. His companions wouldn't meet anyone's eyes, silence plain on their faces. They seemed to grasp that neither wealth nor status can buy dignity, and that their crude words had only highlighted Anna's noble courage. Over the soft applause from nearby tables, Anna stepped out from behind the counter to Jacob's side. She remained upright, her steps measured yet sure. The yellow light revealed her neatly tied hair and the scar that drew every gaze. Tears slid silently down her cheek, not of shame, but of profound gratitude. "Tell me your name?" Anna asked, voice trembling with emotion. The diner held its breath. Jacob lifted his chin, lips parting. "Jacob Miller, Fairview Military Academy, ma'am." He dipped into a crisp salute, the pride of having honored a silent hero shining through. A gentle round of applause broke the tension, warm and appreciative. Laughter and praise rippled through the diner. Customers resumed their meals in an elated mood, ordering dessert, the kitchen hustling to bake pudding, each person quietly proud of having stood on the side of right. Jacob returned to his seat beside Ellen, who placed a tear-glazed, proud hand on his shoulder. "I only did what anyone should do," he said quietly. Anna, still standing, offered a small, knowing smile, reminding everyone that each scar tells a story worth hearing and that every sincere word builds unshakable trust. That brief yet inspiring confrontation transformed Daisy's diner into a testament to courage and honor. The image of Jacob and Anna, youthful cadet and seasoned veteran, standing together, facing cruelty with compassion and mutual respect, will forever be told as a story of how a simple act can shift the consciousness of a small Midwestern community. As afternoon gave way to evening, the warm yellow lights of Daisy's diner reflected off tired yet hopeful faces. When Richard's table began to finish their meal, Tom, the diner's stern-faced yet caring owner, approached and placed the bill before them. He did not glance at the bulging wallet in Richard's hand, but spoke with unwavering authority. "Settle up and leave." His tone brooked no argument, like a commander's order in battle. Flustered by Tom's resolute stare, Richard hurriedly produced cash, leaving behind a generous tip, a silent apology for their earlier cruelty and the diner's collusive quiet. The squeak of wooden chairs echoed as the flashy party departed, and the diner's atmosphere lifted. The oppressive hush shattered, giving way to whispered conversations, gentle laughter, and warm, understanding glances. Patrons once staring at their plates now looked up, smiling as they comforted one another, reliving the moment Jacob confronted Richard, and Anna's courage in refusing to turn away from prejudice. In this cozy scene, Jacob Miller and his mother, Ellen, rose to leave. Ellen straightened the scarf around Jacob's shoulders, her eyes shining with pride. Jacob stepped toward Anna, the woman who carried the battlefields of her past into this humble diner, and produced from his jacket pocket a small brass pin that glinted under the lights. It was his first insignia from Fairview Military Academy, intricately engraved with the words, "Courage and Honor." Without another word, Jacob offered the pin to Anna, his posture perfectly straight and his eyes full of respect. "This is for you," he said, his tone still that of a disciplined cadet despite his youth. "One day I'll earn many more, but today this one belongs to you." The diner fell silent in understanding. This was not merely a metal emblem, but a recognition of bravery, a declaration that Anna's scar was the symbol of sacrifice and an indomitable spirit. Anna shook her head gently, but Jacob insisted, taking her hand to pin it proudly on her uniform. Her hands trembled as she accepted it, feeling not just the weight of metal, but the weight of respect from a generation aspiring to follow in her footsteps. The diner watched in rapt attention, then broke into a round of heartfelt applause, an outpouring of emotion, honoring her silent sacrifice. Under the brighter glow of the lights, Anna returned to the counter, the new insignia gleaming beside her name tag. She paused before a small mirror on the wall, studying her reflection, her scarred cheek illuminated by the warm light, her shoulders square, her eyes alight with confidence. For the first time, she saw herself not as a victim of trauma, but as a hero recognized by a boy too young to have lived her past, yet wise enough to honor her courage. That night, Daisy's diner buzzed with stories and confessions. Some spoke of Anna's battlefield scars, others shared the pain of witnessing injustice. Jacob's brave stand and the moment he gifted her the insignia became the tale on everyone's lips, spreading far beyond the diner's windows, touching hearts by word of mouth and across social media. Each retelling offered a new perspective, yet all agreed on one truth: unconditional kindness and belated justice have the power to heal even the deepest wounds. As midnight approached and the last customers slipped away, the staff began clearing tables. Anna stepped forward, placing the brass pin next to her name badge. She inhaled deeply, feeling a profound peace seep into every part of her. Today, she had upheld the honor of the medic who once saved comrades under fire. She smiled at her reflection, no longer the scarred waitress, but a symbol of courage and compassion. Tomorrow, Anna would resume her familiar routine, greeting customers with a smile, setting down plates, pouring robust drip coffee, and listening to each patron's story. Yet the value of yesterday would remain, etched into that small brass pin and in the grateful eyes of countless diners. For Anna Harper, her scar was no burden but a source of pride, proof that even deep wounds can foster courage and boundless love. And whenever she remembered the moment Jacob Miller gave her the insignia, Anna reminded herself that honor lies not in appearances, but in how we show up each day, with resilience, compassion, and a spirit of unconditional service. Because sometimes, a simple act, like offering a small pin, can ignite hope and begin to heal the hearts of those who have already been broken. Have you ever witnessed someone stand up for what's right amid a silent crowd? Share your story, and let's honor the silent heroes, those who dare to confront injustice and spread messages of love, honor, and justice. Don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe, so we can keep sharing these inspiring tales with friends and family across the USA.